Just in general, we have to stop only caring about things when it becomes convenient for us.
I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. What can't I tell if you're into me? I'm on 9, you're on 5.
Aware of what's going on. There are 14 girls in the past 24 hours that have gone missing in Washington, D.C. and the various DMV area, and this has been happening since February, just so you guys know. Don't you think this just, happened overnight. It's been happening for quite a while now, and it's just being brought to a lot of people's attention, and I just want you guys to realize that it's important that you guys are aware of what's going on, because it seems that our news, our media doesn't seem to find these things important because they don't report it. There's really little to no national coverage on it. At this point in time, there is. I've seen ABC do some coverage on it. Good Morning America was the first that I saw do some coverage on it on a bigger platform. And I think I'm really not here to implement theories in your head to say that this is what's going on, this is why it's happening. There are various possibilities of what exactly is going on, but what I do know is that there are young African American Latino women that are missing from their families, and that's the fact that that's what we do know. And what I know is that they need to be brought back home safe. And I feel like those families, they deserve that. I feel like just in general, we have to stop only caring about things when it becomes convenient for us. I feel like sometimes we kind of brush things under the rug that aren't necessarily happening to us, or it's not happening to a friend or a neighbor or a sibling or a coworker. We kind of just don't care enough, and I feel like we have got to stop doing that. We can't just seem to shed light on things or care about things only when it is convenient for us. And sometimes we have to look at things and really know for ourselves what's going on. Sometimes that's uncomfortable, and it's not. We have to kind of come out of our comfort zone with things that are not pleasant, that are not what we would like to hear. But sometimes the truth is not, you don't want to hear it, but sometimes you need to hear it. And I feel like for everybody, we have to look away from what entices us, what is pleasing to the eye, and look at things that are more important, because there are things that are a lot more important. And I think just my major problem with this is just I put myself in those girls' situations, and I am scared for them. It is a scary thought. It's even scary to me because I don't know if all those girls have a personal relationship with God and know that if something happens and that they know where they're going. Not all of them have that peace or that solace. And that's what scares me most, because I can't imagine what it must be like to be in a situation where you don't really know. And not saying that just because I have that, but it's not like anybody can't have it, but just saying that I do have that peace, that if something were to happen to me, that I know where I'm going, doesn't mean that it would make the situation any less scary, or I'm not belittling the situation in any way, shape, or form. I just find it hard to believe in this day and age with social media and how fast things can spread, especially with this happening in Washington, D.C., which is such an important place in our nation and in the world, that there seems to be so little coverage on this. That's what bothers me the most, because it seems like we can't even trust our media, our source of information to tell us things like this. We've had to find out through small Twitter accounts, a famous Twitter account, Instagram posts. That's what we had to find out, things that are happening about right now. That's what we have to go through to find out what's really going on. I'm not here to tell you that, exactly it is sex trafficking, it is organ harvesting, it is Pizzagate/Pedogate. I'm not here to say for a fact that is what it is. Now, personally, do I believe that some of those things could be going on? Yes, but that is a personal opinion. It does not mean that it's exactly what's going on. And I'm not here to implement my opinion or my opinions or my beliefs in you. Those are personal, and I feel like things that I've learned in the past few hours, things that I have read, things that I've come across, that's just an opinion that I have formed for myself. But that's what's another thing. What's most important is that you learn to inform yourself and you learn to form your own opinions about things that happen in your world, because this is your world and you're living in it. And it's important to realize that things like this, things like sex trafficking, things like organ harvesting, those are real things and they happen to real people, and it's reality. It's not just a movie. Those things are real and they've been happening for a very long time, and you should be aware of them. Just because it is not happening to you and it may not be directly affecting you at this time, there are things that you should be aware of, just to know. And, and there's a whole lot that we can do as well, but the biggest thing that we can do is just let other people know. That's the biggest. Social media is the best and worst thing that is about this generation, but we have that power to let people know, let people be aware of what's going on in our world. And I feel like everybody needs to know about this because it's important to me. And you can say, well, why are you only pinpointing the fact that African American girls and Latino girls are going missing? What about the other young lady that went missing? I'm not pinpointing or cherry picking and saying that one thing is more important than the other. I'm not, because everything that has happened in the past week, ever since in the past month, is very important. What happened in London is important. What happened to that young girl being kidnapped is important. I'm trying to put what these young women are going through and what is happening to them on the same pedestal and the same level. I'm not trying to make one thing bigger than the other. I feel like that's the problem. I feel like we're trying to, that's really the issue, is that this is not on the same pedestal. It's not on the same caliber. It's not the same. They don't have the same coverage. It's just the fact of the matter, because a lot of people still don't know. And I feel, I don't know, it's scary to me as a young African American woman myself. But I'm not here to tell you guys to stay inside your house and be scared and be terrified and don't live your life, because in the day life goes on and you have to live. You have to go to work. You got to go to school. You got to go to class. You got to do what you got to do. But just be cautious and be aware of your surroundings. Stay in groups. Be with a friend. Those are things that you can do. You can't stop living your life. Life goes on. But I just feel like this is something really important, and it needs to be talked about. It needs to be on national media coverage, because it's not. And it bothers me. A lot of things I've read and found out about bothers me, and I feel like sometimes it gets to a point where you have to, things like this should bother you. You should be a little concerned about it. I feel like that's normal. I feel like that's human. And I have a problem with the fact that apparently, in order for Amber Alerts to be sent out, they all have to be... Sure, you guys heard my dog whining. But I feel like they all should be as if... I feel as though all these girls could be in imminent danger, and I feel like we should treat every missing person situation the same. There should not be, just because they're in imminent danger, I feel like you have to treat that... They should all be treated the same. You don't know what could happen to those girls in the span of a day, a few hours, or a few minutes, a few seconds even. So I feel like, I wonder why Amber Alerts weren't sent out. I know it didn't quite fit the qualifications, and there are things about that don't sit right about people that run Amber Alerts, but that's a different thing, and if you want to look into that, you can. The biggest thing is that you guys just be aware of what's going on, and I feel like, as somebody that I use social media a lot, I use it, to post videos and to post singing covers, to post music, so I feel like this is something, I don't know, I just feel like it's just natural. I feel like people should want to tell others, because I know if that was my sister, my best friend, or, especially if you were a parent, that was your child, you want people to know, people to be aware, you want people to just have that same concern, because just humanity, just to have that concern for what's going on. But that's really all I want to tell you guys, and I just want you guys to just be aware of what's going on, be aware of your surroundings, be careful what you post on social media and who it can attract. It can, sometimes it can attract the wrong attention. Just be careful. The biggest thing, God is in control of everything that happens in this world, ultimately, and He knows what He's doing, and, I believe, whatever His plan is, it is in His timing and in His will. He is ultimately in control, and so we just look to Him for everything. I will see you guys on Monday, and